Hey boys, welcome back to some more Warriors Karimo, but now it is open season here. Recruiting is finally open and we're going to try to make some big changes. Honestly, we got a fair few players out of contract and we've got a few players coming to the club already, a couple of decent forwards. But looking at out of contract players, a lot of like old guys, Hoffman, Lillyman, even like Thompson, Ashford are getting on a bit, but Lillyman, Hoffman, I'm not going to be resigning either of those two guys. In all honesty, their salaries are like really low. It shows there, but you probably have to spend a bit more money than that to actually keep them. And Mania Charrington also is fairly costly, so I was really weighing up who actually to keep out of this. I did decide to offer Bodine Thompson a contract because he's pretty decent. As you see on the right there, Tohu Harris is obviously coming to the club next year. He's going to be our highest rated back rower. We'll also be getting Pulu from the Titans, who is, I think he's a lock in this game. I'm not really a fan of Pulu. I'm probably not going to play him, but some decent forward depth for us as we look at the our players. And so this is a little weird because Kieran Foran is obviously contracted for us next year. He's actually our highest paid player, but he's not going to be there because he's signed with the Bulldogs, so he's not going to be there. But I'm thinking, is he actually going to be like taking money out of our cap? Like, I'm not going to be able to spend as much, but it's we'll see what happens. But as you see, there are like quite, there's a lot of players to actually pick up here. We do need a 5'8". That was obviously the main agenda priority because Kieran Foran is not going to be there. I saw Albert Kelly and straight away had to try and get him here. But so as you see, like the halves are super expensive in this game. And this is the first time I've tried signing a half. So I didn't really know how much to actually spend on him. He's decently rated. Like as you see, like he's got some really good skills and attributes for a 5'8". He would be a really good combo with Sean Johnson. But we are offering him like quite a bit less than he's expected. And unfortunately, he doesn't accept the contract because, like I said, I was just sort of pushing to see what I could actually offer people because I had no idea what to actually offer players. Todd Carney also up for grabs there. But we are going to just search for 5'8s here. And some good players, but Rengi Chase, Todd Carney, I wouldn't mind picking them up, but they're a bit old, like 31, not really in the market for it. But man, Jaden Nikorima, New Zealander himself, 20 years old, 80 rated overall. He's obviously playing in the second tier comp at the minute. He's not even playing first grade, but Jaden Nikorima, he was looking pretty promising. Nathaniel Roach here, he's not actually in our squad, which is still very strange with the game. They haven't fixed that issue, but Jaden Nikorima, we are going to try and pick him up. I think 20 years old, 80 rated, like he's got some pretty good skills already, and sort of going for the future. And we actually pick him up. I didn't even change. I just thought, what, 720k, that's a lot. But that's sort of the way the game is. Like the halves are super expensive, but like the forwards and the back line don't seem that expensive. So, you just got to pay those overs for the halves in this game. One of the suggested players, Asafa Solomona. As you see there, you got Pulu there on this roster next year. Only 79 rated. Like I'm really not that interested in playing him. But also, we do need a front rower, like a good one. And we do pick up Solomona, who is an absolute beast in this game, like 85 rated. I think he was 20 years old. He's going to be very good for us. But also Ben Madalino's, I'm pretty sure Madalino is going to be gone as well next year, because obviously in real life he's going to the Tigers. So Madalino, I think in the game he's going to be gone as well. So we got some pretty decent young forwards, but picking up that one big marquee front row, I think is very vital in Rugby League Live 4. You need some good front rowers. But the one area as well, we need a good backline player, a centre or a winger, because we're not going to be re-signing Ashford, who is obviously playing for us at the minute. Jordan Kahu wouldn't be a bad pickup. There's some decent talent here, obviously, in the centres. Getting down a little bit here, I mean, Tom Opicic wouldn't be too bad. You got John Folau there, but I was wanting a marquee type player. I didn't just want like a 70, 75 rated player because, you know, we need to really bolster it. Daniel Tupou, obviously the best there. Nathan Tavers, Magpies play 81 rated. I have no idea why he's so highly rated. But that's a little strange. Ryan Hall, English player, but yeah, again, he's a little too old, 29. You know, Alex Johnston, pretty decent pickup, but then I saw Georgie Tafua, 25 years old, 76 overall. It's not very high, but if you look at his attributes, like, they're very, very solid. Like, I feel like he's got really good attributes, like his strength, speed, all that is really good. It's probably just like his kicking is like really low that brings his overall down. So George Tafua is definitely a guy I'm going to look at. And look at that, only 200k. Like, that's pretty cheap. So we're going to offer him a, what are we going to offer him? 3 years? You know, not too many wingers on the roster there. Only Vadavai and Mamalo, I think. But we pick up Tafua. So probably at the minute it's probably going to be Fusatua or move into the centres. And Tafua goes on to the wing, and I think that could be a pretty strong combo. So I was pretty happy. I'm pretty happy so far. We picked up Jaden Nikarima for the halves, Asafa Solomona, and George Tafua, who, you know, I picked up Tafua just as well because I really like Tafua. And then I was also looking at potentially like a backup dummy half. I don't really know why I selected James Roby, Michael Leisha, fuck no. But there were, you know, not too many of the dummy halves sort of caught my fancy because we're not going to re-sign Charrington. He's a little too expensive because Isaac Luke can pretty much play the full 80. And at the moment, we're still only playing, you know, we got Ada Hingano on the bench. So we don't really need an expensive dummy half. But I wouldn't have minded like a, you know, a decent backup. But yeah, no one really stood out for me in that department. Like, a lot of the young guys here, they're just a little too lowly rated. Billy Walters I was sort of thinking about because I do really like him in real life, playing in the Queensland Cup, but you know, that is what it is. And we're just gonna have a look at some second rowers here as well, because we do, like, I think we do have like probably enough second rowers, but you know, if we can pick up another good one, then you know, that's good. I just sort of went out and redid it because I didn't want to scroll all the way up to the top. But looking at the second rowers, first up here, Tony Williams, and straight away I'm like, hell yes, I'm going to try signing Tony Williams. Unfortunately, I think this is as much as I could actually offer him. I think that was all we had in the cap to spend. You know, Alex Glenn would be a decent pickup as well. You know, there's some decent players here. Not too bad. Looking at some locks as well. Luke Lewis is off contract. Jai Arrow wouldn't be bad, but yeah, you know, not too much more to spend here. I don't know if actually, I don't think it actually shows, but I did try to pick up Tony Williams. He did not accept the contract. But this is, I'm back in. This was like a week after. I just sort of like recorded when I actually went to the recruiting. And I see here Ray Thompson. I was sort of thinking about getting Thompson, but yeah, he was way too expensive as well. Ted Ivano, you know, not bad on the game, but as you see, we got you know, the props. We probably, you know, obviously Madalino's not going to be there, so we're going to lose some there. I said Pulo I think was a lock, but no, he's actually a front row in the game. Obviously, just looking at the players, we're not going to re-sign. You know, I don't. Albert Vete, you know, Vete is probably someone we probably should re-sign. I actually don't know if I do re-sign him. I sort of like, I kept doing this like over a few weeks, and I think I let him miss like some of the recordings. But just looking at some centers here. Like, I think we're pretty stocked in the forwards at the moment. Like, we can't offer any big money for some players. We're sort of out of the cash for that. But you know, Tane Milne, a pretty big fan of Milne. But again, like he's pretty expensive, 71 overall, and he's 348. Like I picked up Tafua for bloody 200k, and he's just a better player. So it's sort of, yeah, I couldn't really do it. But then Jaden Sewer, a young Bronco who's playing Queensland Cup, a very, very good young player. He's expensive as well. He's actually expensive as well, but you know, it's got him as a centre. I would say Sewer is more of a second rower. Junior Sow there, old player, getting a little low in the ratings. But Jaden Sewer, I actually am going to offer him a contract, going a little lower than the initial asking price. But yeah, Jaden Sewer, I'm a big fan of him. I'm surprised he hasn't played a few more games for the Bronx, but we pick him up. So that's going to do it for the recruiting. I don't think I signed anyone else. But we picked up some decent players. The team is going to be a fair bit different next year. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. Make sure to like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.